Episode 21, we're here. Mom, how are you today?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm pretty good. Hopefully we don't have any technical difficulties in this episode. But you're here, and episode 21, how you feel?
Feeling good.
Feeling good. That's
Feeling
usually what
good.
Spellman says. I ask Spellman how you feel. He says, good. Feeling good. Which he is. So
Where is Spellman? Like this is supposed to be. Where's the man?
Spellman, he said he's sick.
What?
I know he's sick in the head, but I guess he's, coughing a little bit. Hopefully he doesn't have COVID-19. If so, RIP. Mom, do you believe in COVID?
I do.
I do. You
yeah.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I agree
I
with
think
you.
it's a real sickness.
Yeah, I think the real
I think I've had it a couple of times.
Oh, I've been tested for it, and I've had it twice.
Wow.
Well, you know that, too.
Wow.
And I remember the first time I got it, I actually went to school with it because I didn't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was at the very beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember that. You, Dad, and I all had it, and it was pretty bad.
It was fucked up.
Yeah.
And didn't we and then we went to Seattle one time. Do you think that was COVID as well when we got sick and we had to come back?
I'm not sure. I don't think so, actually, because it had different symptoms from the first time we had it.
Uh-huh.
I actually believe this last time when we went to Dallas, Texas, and we came back, and I believe we all had it then.
The damn Texans.
Yeah.
No, and we did get tested, and I actually did have it. And that time I lost my taste.
You did?
Because I remember I was eating Caesar salad, and I tried to taste some, and it tasted like absolute garbage. It tasted
Yeah.
really vinegary,
Yeah.
and I don't know why.
But it's funny because you tested positive for it, and I tested negative.
And weren't you a little bit more sick than me? We thought you were going to get it and not me.
I was real sick. Yeah. And that first time too, I got real sick. But you came back. You had done something and you came back and you had all the kid symptoms. Like
The
you had
kid symptoms?
Yeah, you had the rash, the thing with the toes.
What toes?
You had something going on with those funky ass toes you got, boy. And you had it, and that's
Comes
one
from
of the
you, dude.
reasons. And you had no taste, and we didn't have any taste, and the cough, and yeah, it was pretty bad.
Mm-hmm.
I would say the second time I had it wasn't as bad as the first, but yeah, it was still kind of yucky.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Where do you think we got it from? You think we got it from the plane?
I do. Everybody around us was just like coughing and
Hacking and-
hacking, and it was nasty.
Being gross.
Yeah, we should have worn masks, but we didn't.
Yeah. I was on the fuck mask train. I didn't want to sit there for 2 hours and wear that mask.
I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
So the people don't know, where you're from, really. So where were you born? And I know you grew up on the East Coast, but, talk a little bit more about that. You're born on the East Coast, moved to Texas when you're, 17?
Yeah, yeah. So I did my
Independent woman, shout out.
Yeah. Well, I didn't move by myself. My
Oh.
mom and I actually were on the way to Dallas. Actually, we were in the car. My mom said, "Do you want to go to Las Vegas or do you want to go to Dallas, Texas?" And at that time, her brother was living there, which would have been my uncle.
Living
and she
where?
said Dallas, Texas, and
Okay.
said, "Do you want to go to Dallas? Or you want to go to Vegas?" And I said, "Well, we have family in Dallas. It only makes sense that we go there." So that's where we ended up. And I finished. I did all my junior year there, and then my senior year, I also did in Dallas. Yeah,
Damn.
yeah,
So you were moving. I'm a person who's moved in high school too, and that's pretty hard.
it is.
And I think even moving it's even harder moving when you're already 2 years into it.
yeah,
Do you find it easy to make friends? Because I feel like I find myself, it's pretty easy for me to make friends. So do you think we share that trait? Do you make friends easy?
I do.
Mhm.
I do. I really enjoy moving. I've lived all around this country, not all around, but I've lived in quite a few states and quite a few different cities and
yeah.
experienced a lot of different things. And yeah,
I say it is all around because you've been on East Coast
Mhm.
and like Middle Texas and then also West.
Mhm.
I say it's been all around the country for sure.
Yeah, I've lived in Texas, New Mexico, Oregon, California. Some of them multiple times. Like we moved back to Dallas. We lived in Fort Worth. We lived in Taos, New Mexico. We lived in Albuquerque, New Mexico. We've lived in San
And
Francisco.
why is that? I've been doing these like applications for like scholarships and stuff, and like something I talk about is the fact that I've moved so much,
Mhm.
and people often ask when I tell them, "Why do you move so much? Why do you move so much?" I just say, "Because my parents want to."
Yeah.
I don't really have I mean, I don't have a choice, nor am I against it. I enjoy moving because it's given me all these experiences, meeting people, being part of different communities, just seeing the world, kind of a world as in the United States. And it's just like it's hard, but it's like I'd rather have that than just stay at one place for the rest, for my life.
I think part of it is I moved when I was fairly young,
Mhm.
17, and I just kind of got the bug. I really enjoy getting to know a different place or new places, and I love the food and the people and just meeting and doing. And then I kind of get bored, and it's
Mhm.
like, oh, let's like try this place and let's learn about this place. And so, I kind of get bored with the hiking in one place. So it's like, oh, I've never lived in, let's say, the mountains. So let's go live in the mountains. Or now this time we've said, let's go live on the coast. And so we try different things for different experiences. And I think it's one of the things that kind of helps your dad and I. We always have something new going on to, spruce up the relationship or
Yeah.
whatever.
Mhm.
So it's worked for us. But sometimes it gets hard to move, especially with having you. You don't ever. We never really wanted to move at a wrong time, meaning like you're about to start middle school. Well, you want to go to middle school all the way through, or
Yeah.
you're about to start high school. So we wanted to make sure like wherever we moved, like you would do all of that time. So at one high school, not like I did 3 different high schools. That's
Yeah.
hard.
And I respect that because, I mean, at first we moved to Oregon. I think I've said this on pod before. I didn't like it when I first moved to Oregon, well, back to Oregon to Neoconi. But now that I'm here and have been here for a few years, well, going on 5 years, well, 4 years actually.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I learned to love it. So, and it's also moving teaches you to learn to accept things
Mm-hmm.
and to make the best of what you have
Mm-hmm.
and to just be a savage all around. And I find myself going back to that scholarship thing. I find myself writing about that a lot. You know, college bound. I
Mm-hmm.
guess I committed I committed to OSU the other day, or
Last night.
last night.
Very exciting.
Was it last night?
Yeah.
So that feels good.
Yeah.
Feels real good.
New beginning.
Yeah, it's good to just know where I'm gonna go.
Mm-hmm.
And as the scholarships roll around and I get money off, it'll even be more exciting, I think. And today, actually this week, well, today's Thursday, so tomorrow, Friday, is going to be the last day of the sixth week of the trimester. So we're a year and a half, or it's right in the middle of the year right now in the school year.
Yeah. Yeah, it's coming up quick. I
Yeah.
mean, I remember when we first moved here and I was like, oh, we have 4 full years. This is going to be great. And now it's like, oh my gosh, it's almost over.
Hmm.
And really, I mean, that's it.
Yeah.
There's no more.
I know. I'm excited for Corvallis. I know I have some friends out there, Travis, Ben, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then I also have a few guys from my class who are going to be going out there as well. And that's going to be fun.
Oh man, you're
Having so
gonna
many of
have
those guys.
you're gonna have so much fun.
Yeah.
It's gonna be insane. I think the hard part for you is just staying focused.
Yeah.
You're such a great student, so I don't think that academically, I don't think it'd be too hard for you. I think you'll get more
Get by.
challenged. I think you'll be more challenged in college than you have at this school. But yeah, I think you have everything to make it cool. So
Yeah.
I'm not really worried about it.
When we went to the campus, I really felt the vibe of like, okay, this is 100% when I make it. And I felt the same way when I went to Neoconi, but I was a little more immature and I hadn't really had that experience.
Sure.
But when I went to OSU this past weekend and I just saw the campus and was just chilling, I was like, okay, I can do really what I want here. If I want to go out, if I want to go party, if I want to sit down and learn about academics, if I want to do a mix of the both, it's going to be what I want. And I got to make it whatever it is.
Well, it's
you
your
know?
choice to make it what it is.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, even if no matter what school I went to, community college or some Ivy League, it is what you make it.
It is.
And I feel like
It really is.
you can learn equal amounts in both, depending on what you take advantage of.
Yeah, I mean that's the whole
Depending on what you
thing
take advantage
is
of,
you got to take advantage of the honors college with these classes and do what you need to do and just get it done.
Yeah.
Don't use excuses.
No, of course not. And that hasn't been ingrained in me.
Yeah.
I think it's good that I don't really give excuses, and I kind of believe all of my success and failures are kind of on myself to an extent.
Yeah.
Like people complain about, oh, what I can't do my homework, whatever. But it's like, yeah, but that late night you could be doing it. that's an excuse. You know, people make
It's
excuses. So.
choices. Everything in life is a choice,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So every action has a reaction. So do it and you do well. If you don't do it, well, we know what happens there.
Yeah.
So, you know, just do
Yeah.
it.
What kind of community did you grow up in, Mom? Because, you know, the people know what kind of community I grew up in. You know, Tahoe, California, Oregon, etc. What was the East Coast like? Because I haven't even really asked you about that too. Like, was there a lot of kids there? Were you into some cool stuff? What were you into?
You know, I went to a middle school that probably had about probably not that much, maybe about 400 kids. And from that school, we had the choice to go to like 3 or 4 different high schools, and each of them were different sizes. The one that I chose was Fairhaven High School, and it had 425 kids.
Oh, that's
so,
it.
so a little bit bigger than your school.
Okay.
But the cool thing with that is that the school was donated by some, I guess, wealthy person, and it was a big home. It looks almost like a castle, and we had a round gym, and the bathrooms were made of marble, and it was just it's just stunning. Somebody could look it up. It's just really beautiful, and yeah. So that was, and our town was probably a little bit bigger than Manzanita.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah, not much. But Manzanita is such a touristy town. I didn't come from a touristy town. So, yeah.
It was the same size, but there's a lot more people within it, like physical size. But there's
Yeah.
a lot more people within
Yeah,
it
we
instead of
didn't
old
have-
retired people.
We didn't have a lot of stores and stuff like that. I think the closest, like, McDonald's was like 20 minutes away, 15 minutes away. We had like Cumberland Farms, which is like equivalent of a 7-Eleven here, and gas station, and a town hall, city hall. So it wasn't a very big town. Yeah.
It's similar to here.
It was a dairy.
Oh, so just like Tillamook.
Yeah. Lots of cows, lots of stinky places.
Yeah. No, I remember when we first moved to Tillamook County, and we used to drive through Tillamook to go to Fred Meyer's or whatever. It used to smell like shit, and I used to complain so fucking much.
Shh. Hey.
Sorry, I won't curse. I used to complain so much
Yeah.
about the smell of it.
Well, you know, like the smell itself isn't bad, but when you like breathe in and it actually like fills your mouth with that taste, it's like, oh, to me. So yeah, so that's one reason why I couldn't live in Tillamook, but I guess you get used to it.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, I guess at a point you just would stop smelling it.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's worse than others, and sometimes you don't. You go to Tillamook, you don't smell it at all.
True.
Yeah.
True. It depends which way the wind is blowing.
That's very true.
Yeah.
You know, you talk about moving, you talk about getting bored of places, and you were driving somewhere the other day, and you're like pointed out some house on
Yeah.
the farm, and you're like, that's going to be the next spot. Do you actually think that? Do you actually think once I go to college, you and Dad might move to some kind of not like cattle ranch or whatever, but like some like farmhouse? You think that could be a possibility?
You know, I've not lived in one, and I would really kind of like it. I don't know. I really have enjoyed living here on the coast. I think the moving here was primarily for you to get you out of where we were into this situation here so you could go to school. And so now I think I'm looking at Dad going, okay, well, what do we want to do now?
Mm-hmm.
Because we're getting you to a point where, I mean, you may come back home after college, but I don't really foresee it. And it's welcomed if it happens. I'm not saying it can't happen. I'm just saying that now it's our turn again as a couple. So it's just rediscovering ourselves and our relationship and what do we want to do. So I'm kind of thinking maybe so.
Mm.
We've actually kind of started looking.
Dead ass.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So,
But that doesn't mean you're going to. You're just looking at it.
yeah, we're looking at it.
Yeah.
We're looking at it.
Yeah.
But I'm looking for something to do. I've been stay-at-home mom for 4 years with you, and so now I'm ready to, venture into something new.
In this farmhouse situation that you're thinking about, do you think it'll be in Oregon, or do you think it'll be in some other kind of state?
No, I think it'd be in Oregon.
Okay.
So we have you going to Corvallis, and then Daddy's going to be a grandpa, which is very exciting.
Oh, don't think that I'm having a child. It's my brother who's
Yes.
my brother who's having a
Yes,
child.
yes. So we're very excited
I
about
mean,
that,
guys.
and I think it would be nice to maybe get your dad a little bit closer to your brother and Rachel, and I think it'd it'd be nice for him to have a relationship there. Yeah.
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 Yeah. Do you want me to have children, right?
Oh yeah.
Mm.
I also want babies.
I don't know when that'll happen. Of course, I don't.
Oh, don't rush it.
Yeah,
Don't rush it.
I think it'll be. I'm gonna be probably pretty older when I have children. It's gonna be funny for me to be a father at like 23 and watch this back or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You'd be like, oh shit, I was wrong.
Yeah.
And then if that is the case, handle it like as a beast and
Yeah.
get done.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with having a child that young, but I think as of right now at 17, I'm like, okay, I want to have a child when I'm fully able to support it
Definitely.
and just will have no doubt about that.
Yeah.
Just like how dad did, kind of how he was older.
Yeah.
And how did you and dad meet? You met because you were working for him and it was some boss
I
deal?
was working for a
weird.
work placement agency and they sent me to his workplace and he came walking down the sidewalk and I was like, who's that?
Oh, you
And
know,
at that time, he looked a whole lot like this comedian. His name was Gallagher. And he was the guy who had this like huge sledgehammer and he would whack the shit out of watermelons. And it's like right on television. And then like he'd have this huge couch and he'd be jumping up and down the couch. Anyways, he looked exactly like this guy. And
so you didn't like dad, you just like Calgary.
Gallagher.
Gallagher.
I think his name was Gallagher. I know. I just instantly fell in love, and I was like, oh my gosh, like that. Who is that? And then after that, it was kind of history. Yeah.
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 Yeah. Do you find it weird? How old were you when you met him?
I was 20 years old because I celebrated my 21st birthday with him.
20 years old. And
Yeah.
then how old was he?
He was 40.
God.
Yeah.
It's cool, I guess. I mean, but I don't
It
really know
is
if it's
what
cool
it
or not.
is.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
And if you say you loved him,
Hey, when the
Who-
Cupid strikes, that's it. Like, I don't know what to say. Like,
and you said he looked a lot different. And how long have you been married to him now? And how long have you had?
well, we met in March of 1994. So
It's about
that's...
to be 29 years.
Yeah, and we've been married in March. We'll make 21 years. So we've been together a long time. Yeah,
Damn.
yeah,
Good. Good
Yeah.
that it lasted.
yeah. I mean, I was hesitant with the age difference, but I mean, it is what it is.
Hesitant with the age difference. Because why? Because of what other people would think, what your family would think, or it's more like long term, where it's like, okay, I'm gonna be young when he dies, like that. You know what I mean? Or was it both?
I think it's a little bit was everything.
Okay.
Like, just first of all, I wasn't really ready to get married or do anything. I mean, obviously, because we waited 8 years to get married.
Mm-hmm.
He was ready. I wasn't ready. So we kind of had to wait for each other to be like on the same page. Yeah. So I was worried about age wise because, he's much older. What am I going to do when I get older and he's gone? Kids. Does he want kids? I want kids. At that time, I wanted a lot of kids.
You wanted like 2 or 3, or you mean like 4
No,
or 5?
I wanted like 4 or 5.
Oh my fucking god! Oh, sorry.
No, I
Jesus
know.
Christ.
But yeah, I wanted quite a few. And then after the pregnancy and the cesarean, I said, I'm not sure I want any more. I'm not sure if I want to go through this because I was going to, like the doctor said, for various reasons, you'll always have to have a cesarean. And not that it was horrible because I loved being pregnant. Being pregnant was, I think I was the happiest I've ever probably been in my life.
Why? Because you felt cool, or
I
what?
just felt so good and I ate whatever I wanted and I just was so happy. It was something I wanted and I was looking forward to and you were planned and it was a whole lot of fun. I never got sick. So yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Hmm. Yeah, that's cool. That's a unique story. I also find I myself writing about the 20-year age gap and how dads are tired on the things for various activities that you do from senior to freshman in college. You know what I mean? Like the essays that you have to write about scholarships and applications and stuff. I read about the 20-year age gap because it's just unique to me and my situation.
Sure. Sure.
And I think on those you want to be not purposefully unique, to just be honest about your life, and that's what I am.
Yeah.
I know that we had a hobby, me and your mom, when we used to play the Xbox 360 together, and we'd play Fable. Do you remember that?
A little bit.
We used to play Fable, and that game was messed up because I remember as like a warrior or whatever the guy, you could go in and like engage in romance with women as the character.
I don't really remember
No,
this
no, no.
game.
It would be like a warrior game, like an archer game and stuff. Like it was kind of like, how would you describe it? Witcher.
Oh yeah.
It's like that. It was like that.
yeah.
But you just had the option to like go, do funny things. And I remember one time I was playing it and you weren't there,
Yeah.
and me being I don't want to talk about this. Never mind. But the only I wrote down the fact that yesterday when Spellman came over and we were hanging out or whatever we were doing that night, you hopped on his PS5
I
and you
did.
started playing
Spider-Man.
And a lot of moms would not game. But mom, you're a gamer.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, you have to realize I come from the first generation of these games.
Like Zelda, etc., stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
Uh-huh.
Like my family and I, we had the Nintendo, and we and my friends and my brother's friends, we would actually sit down and make maps, and like whoever left the game knew exactly where we were in the game, and I'd work on it for a little while with my friends, and my brothers would come in, and we'd go to bed and they'd work on it, and it was a huge deal. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was really fun.
It was.
See, I mean, the advancement of technology and the advancement of like games has gotten pretty insane, wouldn't you say?
Oh.
Like, because when you were playing that Spider-Man game, how long were you playing that for? Like a few minutes?
Oh, I don't know, maybe 30 minutes, 40 minutes.
And the graphics in that, I mean, when you compare them to those of your childhood, that's just such an insane difference.
Well, the whole controls where you can like look around and see what you're doing, and then you can actually walk in a direction and be looking in another direction, and it's kind of your equilibrium on myself like gets kind of off, because I'm like, what am I doing? Like I'm trying to move all these buttons and jump and do all these things, so I'm used to AB.
Well, yeah, because you grew up with that. If
Yeah.
you grew up with that, you'd
Yeah.
be fine to it. And then when I'm your age in 30 years or whatever, and then I play the game, I bet it's going to be some weird ass VR game where I'm like tripping and I'm like, looking down and stuff. I think VR is going to be the next big deal.
Yeah,
I think so.
I think your friend Miguel brought it over one time.
Uh-huh.
Where the deals where you put him on the Oculus, is that what it's called?
I don't remember if Miguel did, but I think he had one. So yeah.
And I guess I was on a roller coaster, and it really did give you this really weird feeling, like you were like on the
Roller coaster.
yeah. Like
Yeah.
I can see sometimes, like I see commercials, and you have this older woman who puts it on, and she like actually falls backwards. It's like I can see that actually happening to some people.
Oh, there's always those videos where, like, the funniest one is when this guy, he's like on some like skyscraper, he's like balancing,
Sure.
and then he has to jump to the next one.
Yeah.
So instead of using the controller in his hands to like move and jump,
Yeah.
he literally jumps
Jumps.
straight into the TV, and it breaks and then
That's awful.
everybody's just pissed at him because he just
Sure.
broke the TV.
Yeah.
Like, why are you jumping, dude? Like,
Because it's just natural, because you think you're supposed to.
that's funny.
Yeah.
When I want to also talk about one of the things is when did you tell me that Santa Claus was fake, or did I just realize it by myself?
You know, it's funny. So we had just moved to Fort Worth, and we were downtown, and Santa Claus was in this big wooden sleigh, and you asked Santa Claus if he was real, and Santa Claus was like, "Of course I'm real," and then he told you a secret, and
What was his secret was?
his secret was how old he was, and you weren't supposed to tell anybody how old he was.
Uh-huh.
So all day I was teasing you, like, how old is Santa Claus? How old is Santa Claus? And I'm not really sure how it all ended, but yeah, it was kind of cute.
Do you think I told you?
So you were about yeah, you probably did. You were probably about 6 when you started like really like not really sure about this, but
Oh.
you played along, because I always had said, like, if you tell me it's not real, then he doesn't come.
Yeah, wait, why would you do that to me? Because I remember you doing that.
I don't know. It's just to keep the spirit of Christmas and have fun with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But my mom used to say that to me. Like, if you don't believe, you got to believe.
If you don't believe, he's not gonna.
Yeah,
give you
he's not going to
presents.
show up. So it's like, I believe.
Yeah.
Who doesn't want toys and candy and, you know,
He's so evil.
it worked.
Yeah, it worked for a bit.
Yeah.
I still believe in him.
See?
Yeah, imagine.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna be that way with my children too. I mean, why not?
Why not?
But I don't want to,
I knew
lie to my.
I knew you knew that it wasn't real. So it's like
Yeah.
it was just at that point it's just having fun with it and yeah.
I don't know. As a kid, I feel like I was pretty cool. I really was scared of the dark. Sometimes I used to be, but I feel like it's like a normal kid thing.
Oh, my spray gun didn't work?
No, they did not. You used to come into my room, and I'd be like, "Yo, there's a monster somewhere." I don't know how old I was.
Yeah, yeah.
3, 4, 5.
You were
whatever.
young.
And I'd be like, "Yo, there's a monster trying to like kill me or whatever." So scary of a thought. And then you'd be like, "Nope," and you whip out a fake spray can, and like you go tss on the wall and act like you were spraying away the monsters, and I'd be like, "Mom, it's not working. It's not working," and you'd just be tripping. And
I'd be tripping.
I remember when we were living in Texas and we used to live near a cemetery. And
Oh,
and I
yeah.
would have vivid dreams of zombies coming out of the ground and coming and just and you couldn't fight them off. You just would literally get murdered. You remember, like I remember.
That's because your dad told you the story about the woman who was scalped by the Indians and she was buried in that cemetery. But you
my
know, that wasn't
God.
really that close to our house. It was like where we turned off. So it was really like 3 or 4 miles from our house.
But that's not that far. 3 or 4 miles is not that far. It's like what 20 minutes, like 5 minutes in the car on that windy road.
I
No.
don't know. It wasn't that, no, it
Yeah,
wasn't
he
very-
did tell me that story about that scalp. Dad
Yeah.
would play into it. Dad would make me freak sometimes.
Hey, it's just part of having a kid. You just mess with them sometimes.
That's so evil. It's such a big deal. Now it's not a big deal, but when you're a kid, you're like,
Sure, your eyes get like saucers. You're like, really?
yeah. I remember one time when we were living in that townhouse as well, and then it was the day after Easter, and we went in the garage, and there was like an Easter bunny like outline spray painted. Do you remember this? Was
No.
this you?
No.
It was some weird like bunny looking like stain. Like it's like a stain of like something on the cement.
I think you're tripping.
No, but I remember it was really weird because it was like a Easter bunny stain.
I don't know.
And then Dad said it was Easter Bunny, but I didn't know if it was him or like actually the Easter Bunny. I mean, I know it's actually not actually the Easter Bunny, or maybe it's like weird and it kind of looked like a bunny. It was like a stain, like a.
I don't
If
know.
I spilled something and like there would be, dude. Yesterday I was walking up and I ate shit right here.
I know, and I yelled up at you. I was like, "Are you okay?" And then you were
I
like,
didn't answer.
"I know."
'Cause
I was like,
I had milk all over my hand. I was just like, I didn't answer. I was just so upset. No, because I had 2 egg rolls in my hand.
"Yep."
And I was just so ready to eat. I was so hungry. I face planted. I face planted. And milk, and the milk I was drinking went everywhere. People judge me for drinking milk. If you judge me for drinking milk,
Who judges you for drinking milk?
some weirdos, dude.
Hmm.
I don't know. But no, like, people do.
I didn't
They
know
think
this
it's
was a
gross.
thing for you.
I drink milk. You do too.
Not very often.
Do you
I
think it's gross?
no. The only time I have milk really is if I have cereal.
Yeah. Today in math, we were talking about how one of my friends, Seth, his parents have Life 360 on him. And me and Miss Gores were talking about how it's like an invasion of privacy. You know what Life 360 is?
Yeah, it's on your phone. So after, I think after Henry passed or something, somebody told me that I should have this on my phone,
Uh-huh.
and we discussed it. And I don't know, I just never put it on there.
Thank you for that.
Yeah,
That's because it's I think it's an invasion of privacy. Like if I was I don't want you to know who I am, and I'm honest, I'm truthful with you. If you ask, of course,
Right.
I will be, unless I'm, there's a reason for me to lie. But about like what I mean, like a valid like, something like that. But
but I've always
Yeah.
had this deal with you. I'll trust you until there's a reason not to trust you.
Mhm.
So there's no really any reason to lie. Because like if you're doing something that you're not supposed to be doing, well, don't do it. You know,
yeah,
I'm pretty easygoing. You know that.
super. I mean, that's like been your philosophy, just like
Yeah,
exactly what you just said.
just be honest.
Because there's no way that your parent can help you, like truly help you, unless you're honest with them.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
And then and then also you've given me a lot because you've sent me places. Like you've built my understanding of the world and created my like mental strength.
Mm-hmm.
Because I remember I didn't want to go to summer camp when I was the transition from 5th to 6th grade. I didn't want to go to summer camp. I was like, fuck that.
Mm-hmm.
And then you were like, no, you're going. And you got my ass in the car. And I went to summer camp for 2 weeks without a phone. And then I like loved it. You know what I mean? And then also when it comes to like
That was fourth grade.
That was 4th grade?
Yeah, you went for 2 weeks, and then
No, I think it was 5th to 6th.
fifth and sixth you did a month because you ended up liking it so much. You asked if you could go for a month, and
Oh, it
then
was 5th, 4th to 5th. Was it? No,
it was fourth, fifth.
it doesn't really matter.
You did 2 weeks, and then fifth, sixth a month, and sixth, seventh a month, and then you did eighth grade a month. So you went there 4 times,
Yeah, 4 years.
4 years. Yeah, that was a great experience. That's a great camp. Like, hey, if I had that chance, I mean, hell, I'd go now. That's how much fun I thought it would be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe I could be a counselor or something. But my experience with that camp ended poorly.
Yeah, that's what you said. You didn't really care for the last year that you went.
No, because summer camp. I'll give a little bit of rundown. It's from 7 to 17, so you have that group.
Mhm.
But a lot of 17-year-olds don't go. It's more like
Sure,
15.
they aged out.
They aged out. You
Yeah.
know, and I felt like the later years that I was getting there, I probably was like 12, 13,
mhm.
and I felt like I was engaging in more kind of like teen activity.
Mhm.
I was going down the teen road. I wasn't like some kid who like believed in Santa Claus anymore. I wasn't some like baby kid. I was like, I'm starting to become a teenager. I'm starting to grow up, and I felt like there's a lot of rules there that I didn't really want to follow. They're like made for the little kids. So
Sure.
we had like this pine cone war where you throw pine cones at each other for fun, and like they just stopped doing that. It got really sensitive kind of,
Mhm.
and I was just like, I don't
not
want to.
fun.
It's not spend the time there. And then also some guy got mad at me for some whatever because I was like making fun of somebody, like being funny, like not, and people were just being really sensitive.
Don't be mean, Cole Brown.
I'm not mean. You know what I mean?
You were having fun,
I was
and
just
he thought
having
you were out of
fun.
line. Yeah.
Yeah. And he just like, yeah,
He called you on it, and you didn't like it.
yeah.
Yeah. Happens.
It happens. True. And I don't hold it against him. I forgive the guy. And if I saw him now, I'd be so happy.
I think you are holding it against him.
I'm not holding it. If I saw him now, I'd be happy. But it just kind of ruined it for me a little bit.
But
But-
that's okay. You aged out, and after that, you've done some other great things. You went to Costa Rica last year.
Yeah.
That was a pretty cool experience.
Yeah, that was. And we
So
had
really,
the
you've only had-
host kid.
Yeah, we had the host kid, and really, you've only had one summer where you really haven't.
And when was this? My sophomore?
I guess it
season?
was your sophomore year where you really didn't do anything. You kind of just like hung out. But then you did. You went to Tahoe and saw your friends.
Oh, and that was in the first year.
That was in first
Summer,
year.
or freshman year.
So like really, you've been busy.
Well,
You've always got something going on.
Yeah. And that's how I like to be. Super busy or just stuff going on. you
Yeah.
know? What's like, I know it's hard. This is a hard question to ask, but as I go into adulthood, I'm going to have my own kid, and I know we're going to talk about this more. So maybe this is a stupid question to ask. But like, what was your philosophy on like raising a child? Like, what did you want from it? Were you just going to love it no matter what? What what was the philosophy on like raising a good child that would, have some strength?
Well, first of all, again, you were planned, so I knew that I wanted you, and
That
I
feels
didn't.
good.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, every parent I think has expectations. I just tried to keep them real, and really, what my expectations of you growing up is exactly that, mine, and that's I think a hard thing for people to realize is that the kid is the kid.
Mhm.
So what we're here to do is to nurture, grow, teach, inform, and let them grow into the people that they need to become.
Mhm.
Because I can pick and say, "Oh, you should do this," but it's not going to work out.
No.
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 So, like even like this last kind of hurrah where you're picking your college and you're picking like what you want to do. One of my things that have been said, I can't do this one for you.
And
You,
no, and I
you have
get-
to choose.
And I get
this."
mad at you when I feel like you try and choose shit for me.
Yeah,
I get
you do.
pissed at you.
Yeah.
I get very, very mad at you.
And I try not to do that.
And as I should.
That's been my philosophy is to let you choose. Like what I think Dad and I are supposed to give you the knowledge and the tools.
But it's up to me to use it.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
like it's
and
just
dig
like
my own.
yeah, but there are certain things that while growing up that you had to do. One was school. I always believe that you need to get a good education, and that doesn't mean that you have to have straight A's or anything like that. But it's your job is to go to school. My job is to make sure you have everything to be successful in that job, and to let you experience like the different sports and I always wanted you to play a sport, and I always wanted you to play an instrument. So And I think too, one of the things that parents are supposed to do is not only point out the things that are bad, because I think a lot of parents do that to kids,
Mm.
but is to point out the things that you're good at and say, hey, you're good at that. Like, I think you should pursue it more. And then
Mm.
it's up to the kid to give it the energy or not. And I'll
Yeah.
go back to this. Whatever you choose to do, really, I really believe this, is it takes 10,000 hours really to get good at whatever you're doing. So, yeah.
All right. I think yeah, you can have enough knowledge before then to like be super successful. But I guess, I mean, I think that as like dedicate when you dedicate your life to something like in a career, like if I dedicated my life to painting
hmm
murals or something, by that 10,000th hour in this example, which I again don't fully believe, but like by that 10,000th hour, you'd know so much, and you may not be the absolute best, but you'd have intense knowledge of it.
You would. You would.
Yeah.
You know, and one thing my grandma said when I was really little really has always stuck to me. It doesn't matter what you choose to do, but whatever you choose to do it well.
Yeah.
So if you're going to be whatever, a garbage man, not that there's anything wrong with being a garbage man, be the best dang garbage man you can be, you
Mhm.
know? Don't be lazy. Do your job.
Yeah.
And I think it comes back to you.
Listen, I think I don't have anything more to talk about on my
Okay.
thing. I wrote down some cool shit, and we talked about it all. And shout out to you, mom, because you've raised me very, very well. And as this year goes by, I mean, what month is it now? January.
Mm.
In 8 months, I'm gonna be little birdie spreading them wings, son. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I'm looking forward to it. She's sad, but it's the truth.
I think I'm going to move. Where are you going again?
Alaska.
I might be.
No, you're not moving there.
I might.
No, you won't. No, you won't. Bro.
No, I won't.
All right.
I won't. But I'll miss you.
Yeah, I know. I'll miss you. Anyways, mama, I love you. You know that. All right, we're playing. That's it, guys. Episode 21 with the mom. I hope you guys enjoyed. Great episode. She did fantastic. We did fantastic. We talked. We learned. And hopefully we gave you a little bit of info about how to raise a child as good as me or anything.
No, y'all have to do your own thing.
Yeah.
Be you.
Just kidding, guys. Yeah, no. But love the child, be yourself, and the thing is, I think is the key is, like you said, the child's gonna be who he's gonna be, or she.
You just gotta nourish it.
You just gotta let it go.
Yeah.
And I've took advantage of it and
Water it, feed it, flower it.
And then now when I go drop out and I become a addict in Florida,
Oh,
and you see me in the news for like wrestling an alligator and like dying, you'll realize that her advice is really bad. Anyways, that's it. 21.
Peace out.
Peace out.